Oh!
En effet.
Oui, c'est vraiment bien.
Oof! Hey guys, Eric, CEO of the Swiss here. And today we're gonna take a look at one of my most recent acquisitions. This is a 16 gauge Geha bolt action shotgun based on a Mauser 98 action. These shotguns, they were made post World War I, around 1919 and up until the early 30s. After the war and the Treaty of Versailles, Germany's firearms industry really needed something to stay afloat. They couldn't really make military firearms anymore, so they had to do something about it, and they had plenty of Gewehr 98 rifles kind of just hanging around. So they took them and they converted them for civilian application, mainly shotguns. These being 2 shots bolt action shotguns. These were made by quite a few different manufacturers like Gustloff Werke or Erma, for example, and those are sold under different brand names. The 3 that I know of are Hardit Heart, Remo and Geha, and these were offered in 2016 and 12 gauge. From my research, the Remo were kind of the earlier ones, and they were kind of more fancy. You could find them with better stocks, like they were engraved. They were kind of nice looking shotguns. Gehas, on the other hand, they were kind of the entry-level options. They kept the Mauser stock that were just modified. They were sporterized, but they kept the standard Gewehr 98 stocks. And Hardit Heart were kind of, I think, were kind of in the middle. They were kind of Gehas, but better looking, better finish. Whatever you want to say, they just were a bit better. The Gehas were really kind of the poor man's shotgun. Between the different variants of these shotguns, some they had like fancier checkered stocks, some didn't. The Hardit Hearts, for example, they came with the choke as an option. I think it was a full choke as an option. Most of the Gehas though, they're cylinder bore, so they're very basic shotguns. And from what I've heard, some of them were even sold with rifled barrels to be used as slug guns. I've never seen one in the wild. That's just something I've read on the forums, that apparently some people own these. Never seen one. If you have one, let me know in the comments down below. Now, in order to convert these to shotguns, they had to fit smoothbore barrels to the action, and they had to adapt the chambers. And in the process, they kind of had to ground off the locking lugs of the gun. Right here, the front locking lugs of the Mauser action. And especially on the 12 gauge. 12 gauge being, of course, bigger than 16 and 20 gauge. They kind of have to remove a lot of material in the chamber here and on the bolt, leaving the third locking lug, this one at the rear, which is the safety lug on the Mauser, which is kind of, if everything else fails, the third lug is here to save your life. And for the 12 gauge, most of the pressure is on this safety lug, which can be problematic if you use hot loads. These guns are not designed for hot modern 12 gauge loads. They're really designed to use light, gentle loads from the 20s. So be careful if you have one of these shotguns. Inspect it thoroughly, make sure it still works and it's still in good conditions. The 16 and the 20 gauge, on the other hand, they retain some of the locking lugs, so they're a bit stronger in that sense. So maybe you can run auto loads in a 16 or 20 gauge. Still, be careful with that. Apart from the construction and the fact that they have to modify the bolt to make it work, these are like 100 years old now. So be careful when you shoot these old guns. Be gentle with them. To adapt them into shotguns, they had to do a modification to the bolt, and it's this bolt head in the front. So if I zoom in for you, yeah, you can see here. So they had to modify the bolt and put this bolt head on the front. This is retained only by spring pressure on the extractor, and it keeps the bolt from coming out of the action. You can actually get this out by whacking it hard. I wouldn't do that, I don't want to damage something. So if you want to remove the bolts, you first have to remove this bolt head, which is under quite a bit of spring tension. It kind of depends on the gun. Some of them have worn springs, mine is still quite strong. And there you go, you can take off this bolt head. Don't lose it. Spare parts for these shotguns are impossible to find. So there you go. And then it comes out of the action just like your regular Mauser bolt. These have a tendency to fly off with the spent shell. So if you're shooting this shotgun and you're cycling it quite fast or with a bit of strength, be careful. Your bolt head might be going away with the spent shell. By the way, this is how it goes in. So basically this is how it goes in, and it's held on to the side by this extractor. If you want to put it back into the gun, here, yeah, go. Pull the trigger. Yeah. It's a bit stiff with age, and you put back the bolt head until it clicks in, and then you're ready to rock and roll again. So this is a two-shot shotgun. There is an internal magazine here, which is spring loaded, and you can fit basically one cartridge into the action like this, and then you can put a second cartridge in the path of the bolt for the action, and then there you go. That's two shots. The way the magazine works, basically you just have this big floor plate here. Put the cartridge in, click it in place, and on the side, right there, there is a bit of a metal piece that just holds the cartridge in. And when you get the bolt all the way to the rear and kind of pull rearwards, yeah, just push the bar to the side, allows the cartridge to pop up. This piece of sheet metal that was added to the side of the receiver, that's here to keep the cartridge from flying off the action, which means that if you try to reload the rifle while it's canted to its right side, the cartridge can pop out of the action, so be careful with that. Other than that, yeah, works fine enough, I think, and it can be cycled quite fast. Honestly, I didn't have any problem cycling this shotgun. And yeah, apart from that, it's a very basic Mauser 98 action. The safety works exactly like you would expect. All the way to the left is fire, click, cock on open. With the flag pointing upwards, it's safe, but you can still cycle the action, and if the flag is on the right, it means that it's safe, and also the bolt is locked, you can't open it. So yeah, pretty standard Mauser stuff. Looking at the features of the rifle, if you can call them that, basic sporterized Gewehr 98 stock that's been cut down. The cartouche at the back of the stock has been replaced by this wood button with Geha in script. It's on both sides of the gun. Sling swivels, which I think are not original to this gun. The front one clearly was raised on by someone afterwards. From my research online, these shotguns didn't come, at least the Geha didn't come with selling points from what I've heard. Maybe some did, maybe some didn't. This one clearly looks like a later addition by someone else. Yeah, and there's not much to say about this. Mauser action, smooth bore, cylinder bore barrel with a front bead. You have a channel on the receiver here that can help you with aiming. And yeah, that's it. These rifles kick. You will see on the shooting footage, these are quite light and they don't handle like a shotgun. They really handle like a military rifle. They handle like a sporterized Gewehr 98, and they kick quite a lot, and especially since you have a very basic steel butt plate at the rear. Yeah, you can get whacked pretty hard with this shotgun, especially if you're shooting heavier loads or slugs.
Ça va viser quoi.
Ah, come on.
T'as pas touché le Ah, magnifique.
There's this one anecdote on a forum that I found, I think it's on Shotgun World, of an accident where one of these Geha shotguns killed their owner because the lugs sheared off and the bolt just went straight back out of the action into the skull of the shooter, killing him. That's an unsubstantiated anecdote. There's no proof of that, no nothing. From most people that have owned these shotguns that are talking about it on forum, they work just fine. I mean, these were proofed for 8mm Mauser, so quite a strong cartridge. Obviously, if the locking lugs are in bad shape and have been ground off, it's bad, but unless you're putting very hot load or your gun is in really bad condition, I think you should be safe. But yeah, that's on you. Make sure to get your rifle, your shotgun checked by professional, or at least someone that knows what he's talking about. I shot mine is in good shape. It's cinched up, the finish is not perfect, the wood has been beaten off a bit, but the action is still very strong. So I shot mine, and here's some shooting footage for you.
Magnifique.
2 rounds in the 16 gauge Geha Mauser shotgun.
Tu vois, il est presque dedans.
Ça va viser quoi.
Ah, come on.
T'as pas touché le Ah, magnifique.
Honestly, for the price I paid, I think like it was 150 Swiss francs. I bought this from a collector friend of mine that didn't want it. It was kind of in his stock of old guns that he didn't want, but I wanted it, so he sold it to me for 150 Swiss francs, which is roughly 180 USD. To me, that's a good price. It shoots, it works well, the parts are in good condition. It's a great conversation piece at the range because not a lot of people know about these shotguns. It's kind of unusual, and it's my first Mauser. Believe it or not, I didn't start with a sporterized Mauser or a Kar98k like a lot of collectors. I went straight from the odd. If you follow this channel or my Twitter account, you know I like odd guns like this one. So this is really in my wheelhouse, and I love this thing, and I will keep it, and I will keep shooting it from time. I mean, I will shoot it from time to time, but it's gonna stay in my collection because it's really neat. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this kind of content. If you do, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Geha.